Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 22 shows Jura questioning love, and it's got me thinking, what else will Jura question in the future? Will he question his purpose or his basic instinct to eat the Otsutsukis? It's got me thinking about a lot of moments where Jura confronts the Otsutsukis. Like, let's say Jura confronted Ishiki Otsutsuki, right? Or they met face to face. Now, obviously, Jura's instinct would be to eat, or what he's been told or what he follows is to eat an Otsutsuki, but he's been known to kind of stray from that path. He could have easily done his whole instincts or gave in to his instincts by eating Kawaki the first chance he got to see him, but instead he went into another direction, and it's got him asking question after question after question, specifically at questioning what is love? What is this thing that humans have, this emotional bond with other people? It's not logical, it's not reasonable, it's just kind of like, it messes you up. And so, if Jura had the purpose or the idea to veer away from it, is it possible that he might find a new thing, something else to consume his mind, something else to like question after question after question? And a big question I keep asking, or like I think that Jura might start to look for, is that like, is there more of me? There's more Ten Tails out there, because this isn't the Ten Tails that was originally here by Kaguya Otsutsuki. This is another Ten Tails. And with another Ten Tails, there must be another Ten Tails, because once they eat the chakra fruit, the Otsutsukis just leave the planet. So once they just leave the planet, they have to get another Ten Tails, right? Like, how does it all work? How does it all flow? And these are the questions that Jura specifically might be asking himself, was like, what comes after this? Like, let's say I serve my purpose, I commit to my instincts, and I become the divine tree, and I bear a chakra fruit for the Otsutsukis to eat. But then, what happens to me? What happens to everything about me? And this is the first time the Ten Tails has really had any kind of conscious being transformed into a divine tree humanoid person, finally being able to think or reason or find something in themselves to like create purpose for themselves in their lives. What do they like? What do they not like? This, that, or the other. They're finally getting a chance at that. And maybe, just maybe, there might be an opportunity where Jura wants the same for the other Ten Tails out there. There's more to his kind, there's more to his species. So I think that logically makes him curious about it. And it's got me thinking of like, if Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body, what Momoshiki would tell Jura? Would basically tell the Ten Tails. What would he say, or what could he kind of talk to him about? You know what I mean? How he could explain the Ten Tails and where they come from, and how the Otsutsuki, like, create them or have them at their disposal. What happens when they destroy a whole planet? Does the Ten Tails get left behind? Does it reincarnate? What exactly is the Ten Tails? How does it happen? Stuff like that. And I kind of am curious about like Jura and Shibai Otsutsuki also having a conversation. Shibai being the big Otsutsuki who ascended his body, who left his body behind, who became this greater being above it all, and gave his Shinjutsu to Ada, Damon, Code, and now Kashin Koji. All together kind of makes this a greater being, I suppose. And another Shinjutsu that we didn't really get to see with Delta or Boro, which could be a huge deal in the future. But my point being is that, is there any point in the near future or later on, in the story, to see Jura struggle with like being a pawn or a tool of the Otsutsuki and maybe want it for himself, or kind of reject the Otsutsuki the same way Kawaki does? He probably would hate the Otsutsukis and like not want to be a part of it, because it's like they'll just keep repeating the cycle, but it is their instincts. So will they lean into it or not lean into it? That is unclear. But for the time being, Jura still has his plans to eat Kawaki or Boruto to become the divine tree and bear a chakra fruit like they were supposed to. So we'll have to see when the time comes. But until then, it's just speculation, up in the air. We don't know. It is interesting to think about, though. What if Jura had a conversation with other Otsutsukis about what the Ten Tails is and what they can be and all of these other things? It's really interesting to think about, or to basically ponder like what that would entail, or what they could really talk about, or what more questions Jura would come up with. So until then, but soon chapter 23, and then we'll be able to get a little bit deeper into the story. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah.